What's going on, everybody? It's Tas here. Hope you all are having a great day out there. Happy Easter to everybody that celebrates today. Hope you guys are crushing it and are ready for this upcoming week in the stock market. I sure am. Whenever there's a day off in the markets are closed, I'm getting a bit itchy. As soon as Sunday comes around, I'm getting itchy, so I'm pumped up. Today, we're going to be talking about a bunch of stocks I'm looking to buy this week. I also want to break down what happened last week in the markets. We'll talk a little bit about the futures session on Friday. If you guys missed my Friday video, we'll talk about that. And in general, where my head is at in this crazy market we're in. So hit the like button, subscribe. You might as well get into the free Strive Smart Discord chat, the Facebook group, get some free money from M1 Finance and from WeBull. And you guys could check out my Patreon. All of those are linked down below. So let's get into it. SPY, guys, also known as SPY, also known as the biggest or the most popular ETF that tracks the S&P 500 index. This ended up going up over 1% on Thursday, up over $4.20. And if you guys don't remember, the S&P 500 hit an all-time high in the last session here. We cracked over 4,000. We ended up going all the way to 4,020 points, and that equates over the SPY here at about $400.61. After hours, we were over $401 for this ETF, and what I'm seeing here overall is very bullish. We broke out of the ascending triangle, and as I was looking at this about 10 minutes ago before hitting the record button, I noticed an inverse ETF. Gosh, guys, inverse head and shoulders. That just goes to show I had too much to eat earlier. I'm a little bit slouched right now, but bear with me, guys. Left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder right here, and now we're breaking out. So this is kind of an inverse head and shoulder and an ascending triangle at the same time, and we're breaking out. So at this point, who knows where we could go? I mean, yeah, we are a bit overbought. It could see a bit of a pullback, maybe 398, 399, and then from there we rally off. But now that we've broken out, I feel like we could go 405 on the SPY here, maybe $410 before we see another correction or a pullback, whatever you want to call it. I really think that is possible, but again, watch out for that RSI. On the hourly chart, it's very overbought. If we pull up, let's say this 4-hour chart, it's also overbought, so keep that in the back of your mind. And if we look at QQQ here, same thing as the SPY. It is pretty overbought. RSI is at 76 here on the 4-hour chart. We filled the entire gap that we mentioned last week, and we pretty much called this out to a T, guys. It broke out at 316. It filled the gap to 325. Now that it is, like I said, overbought, maybe we see a bit of a pullback, 320, maybe 322, before we end up seeing another rip upwards, or who knows? I mean, we could just rip right out of 325 right now and fill the gap slowly to about 330, 332. That's the next big resistance. So overall, we're looking very good. The bulls are in charge here. And again, we are a bit overbought in the short term, but sometimes, I mean, even if the RSI is overbought, it can still go up more. It doesn't mean just because the RSI is overbought, the stocks are going to crash right away. It doesn't work like that necessarily, guys. So there could still be some juice left. And let me know what you think down below in the comments. As always, I'd love to know your thoughts. And if you didn't catch my video from Friday, we talked a little bit about the futures market on Friday, and we mentioned and went over Tesla, which you guys should definitely go check that video out because of Tesla and the delivery numbers. I'll link that video down below. And if you guys see here, the futures market did well. The S&P futures, they went up 0.4%, up about 17 points. The NASDAQ 100 futures went up 0.2%. That's pretty solid. And the Dow futures went up 0.5%. And I wonder what the Russell futures went up to. I'm not too sure. I don't think I have them here, but either way, strong futures market on Friday, and that's after the economy here in the U.S. added about 18,000 jobs in the month of March, so that's probably why we did see that spike in the futures market. So we'll see if that continues tomorrow again, or not even tomorrow, guys. in 1 hour. Well, an hour for me filming this video, and by the time you're watching, the futures market should be open, but we'll see if those futures gap up again, or are we going to be seeing a pullback? And I want to look and see what the futures are going to do throughout the night, and especially before the market tomorrow. That's going to give us an idea of how at least the morning tomorrow could play out. So what are your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comment section, and make sure to smash that like button if you guys have been enjoying the video so far, because now we're going to talk about some stocks. And let me tell you, a lot of companies are reporting earnings this month, the month of April, and a lot of banks are. We have Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, we have JP Morgan reporting earnings, as well as the probably most hated bank out there that's trying to earn their reputation back, Wells Fargo, WFC. And although the banks have done very well over the past couple of months, in fact, they've outperformed pretty much everything. I mean, I'm sure obviously there's other stocks that have outperformed the bank stocks, but gosh, guys, Wells Fargo has doubled over the past couple of months. That's pretty crazy. You know, Goldman Sachs, it's done very well from 185 to 356. I mean, these are big numbers. Bank of America, BAC, went from $22 to $39, almost $40 per share. So although they're very inflated right now, they've ran a lot, I'm still paying attention to those earnings reports. And this month, we also have Pepsi, which is a stock I personally own. We have Netflix. We'll go over that one in a little bit here. J&J, Procter & Gamble. These are also stocks I personally own. CMG, Chipotle Mexican Grill. We have Spotify, which we'll talk about in a little bit here. Same with Coca-Cola. All of these report earnings this month, and it's going to be interesting to see how they end up doing and how the previous quarter was for these companies, especially Netflix. So let's take a look at Twitter. Twitter is one that I personally like right now. We can see overall it's pulled down a good amount from $81. Now it's sitting at $63. And wait, is Twitter also reporting earnings this month? It very well could be. Yeah, it is at the end of April. So Twitter's another one, earnings this month, guys, and it's down about 20% from its peak, so it's kind of still at that point on the cusp of a bear market. So it's there, and it's also right at a point of resistance, right at this downwards channel. You guys can see it right here. And on Fridays, or actually Thursday's session, we ended up peaking above the 50 moving average, which is a good sign here on the 4-hour chart. Now I just needed to break the downtrend and then break the 180 moving average at about $68. And that is where I think a lot of momentum is going to kick in. So I'm going to set an alert. Mark is at or above $68 here on Twitter. If that's able to break, I think there's going to be a rally, maybe even into earnings from maybe $68 to the mid 70s. You guys can see 75 was resistance back in the middle towards the end of February. So watch out for Twitter, TWTR. Spotify, again, like I said, they also report earnings this month. This is one that could be slowly turning the tide. I mean, look at this. We're holding 255. We held that point back in the middle towards the beginning of March, also at the end of March. So this kind of looks like a double bottom, right? And now we're breaking out of the 50 moving average, which was a resistance a couple weeks ago. So that's a good sign. So I believe in the very short term, yeah, maybe Spotify does not get back to the 300s. Maybe it doesn't. For all we know, it might not. But in the short term, from where we are, 275 up to about 290, I think that's very possible. I mean, look, 290, that was resistance, like I said, a couple weeks ago. Also back in July, all through November, guys. So I think this gap's going to fill. We already broke the 50 SMA here, so 290, I believe, is in the cards for Spotify. And don't get me wrong, it could very well break 290, break this 180 moving average at 295, 300, and it could go a lot higher, but we're just not there yet. So we need to be patient and wait and see what happens in this week. So Spotify I like, Netflix I also like. Take a look at this. NFLX, this is a very good sign. We ended up, like I said, holding the uptrend. That's not news. I've been mentioning that here on the videos. And like I also mentioned last week, which is news, we saw a head and shoulder, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. And you guys know if we ever break out of the neckline, of any neckline of a head and shoulder, that pretty much invalidates the head and shoulder. And now we're about to break out of the resistance at 545, which was the head of the head and shoulder. So I think if that breaks this week, Netflix could easily see a rally to about 560, 555, maybe 565 heading into earnings. So I like the momentum building up here on Netflix. And Tesla, guys, is my biggest swing position right now. I'm super excited. They just delivered 183-ish thousand vehicles. And again, make sure to go check out that more in-depth video down below in the description box that I uploaded on Friday. And they did very well. They beat expectations for delivery numbers. I'm super excited about that. And on Thursday, it seems like the stock was teeter-tottering. I mean, the markets did well on Thursday, but Tesla went down 0.9%, and I believe it was waiting for those delivery numbers. Now that we got the numbers, maybe we see a rally this week. And I'm not too sure, and I mentioned this on Friday's video, I'm not too sure if the delivery numbers were baked into the stock price, because a lot of these estimates, and especially analyst estimates, they were thinking 160,000, 165,000, but it came at over 180,000. So maybe we do see a spike up in Tesla this week. And I believe if it breaks out of 700, right under that 180 moving average, or right by the 180 here on the 4-hour chart, there's going to be an explosion. I think it's going to go mid 700s, high 700s from there. So Tesla is definitely worth watching. And by no means, guys, should you go out and buy Tesla or any other stock I mentioned ever, because you must always do your own research, your own due diligence, and only buy stocks that you understand and that you've done your due diligence on. It's that simple. And the next one here is IDEX, also known as Ideanomics. And you guys know I'm not the biggest fan of penny stocks, or stocks under $5 for that matter, other than NEO. NEO is one that paid off for me. And you guys know, my long-term subscribers, NEO was a spec play for me like a year and a half ago. I was buying NEO in the single dollar digits, and obviously we can see how well that's done. And I really wish I put a lot more money in it, but again, at that point when I was buying it, it was way more speculative, and I didn't want to risk too much. And I view Ideanomics very similarly, right? And again, I don't mess with a lot of these low-price stocks, but this one's been drawing my attention, and the technicals are looking pretty solid here. And we notice a big base, strong base at 260, 255. We pretty much held that all of February and March, now heading into April. In fact, on Thursday, we saw an 8% pop in the stock, and they were supposed to report earnings on the 31st, but I do believe it got pushed back to April. Let me double check that. I do believe, actually, no, did they actually report earnings? No, I'm wrong. That must have been a different company I was looking at. But yeah, they did report earnings. And full year, what did it come at? Full year 20 came in at $26.8 million. Revenue, EV revenue is $19 million, up from $2.7 million year over year. Holy crap, that is a massive jump there. So yeah, I don't know why I thought their earnings were pushed back. That must have been a different company. So I'm going to have to look deeper into those earnings that just came out. I can't believe I even missed those. But either way, you know, IDEX here, I think, again, it popped up 8% Thursday. I believe there's going to be a move out of this 180 moving average. I believe there's going to be a pop if it does break roughly about 340. If that could break, we're going to see high threes. I think we're going to go maybe even low $4 and above. I mean, that's going to be such a big breakout spot for Ideanomics here. And that's going to be taking us out of resistance points that we've seen all of March and stemming back from earlier in 2021 in January, middle of January, more like it. So I think, yeah, if 340 breaks, we're going to fill up to about 390. 390 breaks, 420, 430. That is where I believe this stock could be going. So yeah, we'll see how that one ends up playing out. And Shopify, SHOP, is another one that I've been calling out pretty much every single video. And this is one that filled the gap. Well, we first and foremost called it out at 1050, held 1050. Then I said 1100. It broke 1100. Then I said 1160, 1175. It filled up all the way to that point. And now we're at a point of resistance. We haven't broken out of 1175 pretty much all of March and now into April. So I believe if we take that level out this week, next week, at any point, whenever it does end up happening, I think Shopify is going to go straight up. And this could happen in one day, no doubt about it in my mind, guys. I think it's going to go straight up to 1230 to about 1275, anywhere in that little range. That's where I think Shopify could end up going, and it's not that overbought. I mean, look, it is a bit overbought. It's at 66 RSI on the 4-hour chart, but I think that could get stretched even more, to be honest, and I think we could gap up to that 1230 to 1275 level. So Shopify is a fantastic company. The stock is gaining steam, so you guys must watch it right now. Same with AMD. You all know in my Patreon, I ended up buying this stock at $77 as a long-term position. Now it's at $81. It went up 3.3% on Thursday, and I believe, and I actually call this out on Patreon, I made a post on there, and we can see, and the gap looks like it's filling right now. There's a big gap. There's a big gap from where we are, low 80s right now, all the way to about mid 90s. And the fact that we broke this trend, this downtrend or descending triangle, whatever you want to call it, on the 4-hour chart and the 50 SMA, that is a good first step that we want to fill this whole gap to the mid 90s, right? And if we end up breaking this 180 moving average, that's step number 2. And from there, it's going to be a lot of momentum. A lot of momentum and volume, in my opinion, is going to start kicking in there. And the mid-90s, that's where we're going to be going. So AMD, I'm loving it. Visa is another one. And I personally didn't buy this. I'm kicking myself because when the news came out that an investigation was going down over there at Visa, they were being, investigated for anti-competitive practices. The stock tanked. And I had a feeling that it was going to pop right back up, but I didn't act on it, and it's okay, because if you guys did, let me know in the comments. I'd love to know. If you guys made money on it, that'd be great, but I personally didn't. And now it's at a point where 218 to 220, that's a big resistance. We've struggled there back in February, January, November as well. Same with August. So I think if this breaks 220, we're probably going to go right back to those all-time highs, especially if the market continues doing well. We see a 4,050, 4,100 S&P. The NASDAQ starts climbing back. I can easily see Visa fill the gap to the high 20s. So watch out, or 220s rather. So watch out for that. And my sleeper pick, this is one that I bought as well. Gold. Well, it's not the physical metal. It's Barrick Gold, ticker symbol GOLD. And this is one that, again, I bought in at $19.04. And on Thursday, it ended up going up about 3%. And I personally bought it about 2 weeks ago. You guys on the Patreon know I put my buy and sell alerts there. I bought it about 2 weeks ago at $19 and some change, $19.04. And now it's about to test. And well, it looks like it's already breaking the moving averages here, the 50 and the 180 on the 4-hour chart. And I believe if we take out this channel as well as the moving averages that we're peaking above right now, Barrick Gold is going to have a lot of upside. I mean, I think it's going to go mid-20s. And overall, guys, if I'm being honest, I think Barrick Gold could go a lot higher than the mid-20s. I believe gold itself, the precious metal, is going to go to $2,000 an ounce plus. I really do believe that. So I've been buying physical gold, and I believe obviously Barrick Gold being a junior, not a junior miner, but it's a mining company, this is a leveraged way to play gold. So if you think gold's going to go to 2,000, 2,200, whatever you think, it very well could do that. And this is gold's chart. I mean, that'd be about, let's say, a 15 to 20% move. Let's say if gold went from 1,700 to 2,000 plus, that'd be about a 15, 20 plus percent move. And in my opinion, gold, Barrick Gold, could go up. Let's say gold goes up, the metal goes up 20%. Barrick Gold, the miners or the miner stock here, which is a leveraged way to play gold, this could go up to $30, $35. It could easily go up 40%, double of what the physical metal would go. So that is why I've been adding this as a more, it's not a speculative play, but it's more of a contrarian play. And I just think it's beaten down. Plus, they have a nice dividend. So that's kind of what I'm doing, guys. What stocks I'm looking into, what stocks I want to buy this week, and some thoughts on the market and overall a bunch of companies to watch out for when it comes to earnings. So let me know what you guys think, and if you all want me to talk about any specific stock, let me know down below in the comments section. Also, feel free to like this video if you all found value in it. Check out my Discord chat. That is free, link down below. And you could also get $30 from M1 Finance by simply using my link, depositing any amount of money, and you get that $30, which is limited time, so make sure to go grab that right down below. Same with the WeBull 2 stocks. Those are valued up to $1,850. You could also check out my Patreon for buy and sell alerts, call outs, morning update market videos every single morning, and you guys have direct access to me via DM over there on Patreon. So I'll catch you all in the next video. All of those are linked down below. Thanks for watching. As always, stay safe out there. Happy Easter again to everybody. Keep crushing the markets. Peace out.